What's up, guys? Tom here with Team Golden Age coming at you with another deck profile. Who am I with today, and what do you got?
I'm Joey. I'm Catskill, New York locals at Cohen's Game Store, and I have my live twin deck profile that I have gotten first and second place with in two consecutive locals. I am 9-1 with the deck right now.
Nice. Show us what you got.
For starters, you play three Kissikil and three Lua. These are basically Torred from the Underworld for the opposite name. Um, Whenever they're normal special summon, if you don't control another monster, they summon the other name from deck. And they each also have an effect that never really comes up, but while these specific ones are on the field, for Lilla, if your opponent declares an attack, they have to pay 500 life points. And for Kisskill, if they declare an attack, you gain 500 life points. It never comes up, but like if you get hand trapped, it's a cute little thing just to gain some free life points. You play three of each just because consistency. You want to start with one of these in your hand to get your combos going. And then I played two Frost and a Treat. This card's not that great. It's just another name. But you need the extenders. This is the best one, I would say. When these both have an effect where if they're in the graveyard and you control an evil twin, they do something. She is when an evil twin battles and battle damage is dealt, you can banish her from your graveyard, and one monster your opponent controls loses attack equal to the battle damage permanently. Her effect is if you control one, you and your opponent adds a card from deck to hand, except during the draw phase, you banish her and draw a card. She's really good that you draw near hand traps. And if they're in your hand and you control the other name, you can just special summon them for free. Just extenders. Really good. Really needed. That's it for the twins. There's 9 main deck monsters. And for hand traps, we played 3 Ash. It's one of the best hand traps. 3 Veiler. I think this card's really good right now. I've never wanted to cut it. Questionable spots I have are 2 Battle and 2 Meister. They don't really. This doesn't really come off. I've only played against a couple tries, but I've never really needed it. Meister's alright. It's good against Drytron, good against Tri Brigade, good against Rogue. That's it for monsters. It's 20 monsters. 3, 6, 9. It's 19 monsters. For spells, we play the new addition to this deck, Sunny Snitch. It is basically Fire Formation tanky. When it's activated, you add a live twin monster from deck to hand, which is literally any of your monsters. It's a starter, it's an extender, it's whatever you need it to be. If you get hand trapped, you can go off. You can search. If you normal summon one of your twins, you get hand trapped. You can then activate this, search the costumed one, and just keep playing. And also, while you control an evil twin, it becomes a Trickstar card, where anytime your opponent normal or special summons, they take 200, or you gain 200 life points, and if you gain 200, they take 200. So it's good. The monsters in your deck are just relatively weak as it is, so having the little extra burn damage does come up a lot and can help you win in time. Then you play 3 Secret Password. It's basically reinforcements of the army for spell and traps that have live twin or evil twin in their name, so it's 3 more copies of Snitch. And if you can, this other effect doesn't come up, but if you control a Kissikil and a Lilla monster, you can add an evil twin from deck to hand, but you don't play any, so it never comes up. It just mostly makes this, you have 6 copies of Snitch. And then I played 1 home. This card's whatever right now. It locks you into evil twins, which isn't really that great until we get the Link 4, because you want to be able to summon some of your other monsters, some of your nightmares, maybe IP, depending on your hand. So it's whatever, but you still need it because it can help play through Nibiru, it can help play through hand traps if you don't draw. If you don't draw your Snitch, it just helps you play through those. Then you're gonna end on your normal board anyway. We've played 2 Desires. I'm at 42 cards. I had a list that played 3 of these, but I just eventually cut it down to 2 just to fit other better cards into my list, and I've never missed the third because I consistently draw the second off of Desire, so I wouldn't really want to play a third and risk drawing a third. You lose to hand traps, so I played 3 Triple Tactics Talent. Whenever I've had it and get hand trapped, it's broken. A lot of the times you might just dead draw it, but at that point, it'll come up late in a later turn, so it's never really awful, but it is one of those cards that's arguably cuttable. But if your twins get hand trapped, you usually are passing turn, and this just helps you not pass turn. I played 3 Forbidden Droplet. This is very good with your twins and with any of them, because if, say, they get Veilered or Impermed and your opponent has monsters, you can just droplet off the twin that got Impermed or Veilered and negate a card they control, and then your twin will resolve because they're not on the field anymore, summoning another one from deck, which then can resolve against you control no monsters. And Droplet overall is a really good card. It stops the Appaloosa. In Tri-Brigade, it stops their Shureg. It single-handedly can shut down a full Dragón board. Really good card in this deck. I played a Call by the Grave, which is another talent. It's just another card to get up your hand traps. And I played 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This deck really kind of relies on a lot of their spell cards. So Imperial Order hurts. If you can force out the Revolt with this card, it's really nice. I'd rather play this over Twin right now, just in the main at least, because I don't really want to discard cards. But post-siding, I do side 3 Twins, so you'll have 6 opportunities to get rid of anti-spells, get rid of Imperial Orders, the Tri-Brigade traps and stuff. I would not cut this card. This card is very good. And then for traps, I played 3 Solemn Strike. You could play this, you could play Torrential, it doesn't really matter. I just think this is good because it just negates. If you can negate hand traps, you can negate summons that are relevant, you can negate Herald, you can negate Shureg effects. It's a very good card. I wouldn't cut this. And then for the last card in the deck, I was testing out an Evil Twin Challenge. I don't see most decks playing, like, if you're going to play a trap card, you're playing one of the continuous traps. I am testing this one out because it is essentially Monster Reborn for any of your Live Twin monsters or Evil Twin monsters. And depending on what you have on your field, if you can get one in the graveyard and you just can't really continue comboing, you can reborn one back, and immediately after it resolves, you link summon any Evil Twin Link monster. I've never had that come up, but it's mostly just if I've opened both of these, I can use password to search this instead, which then lets me my turn 1 play, instead of ending on one of the Twin Links, I can just end on an Unchained Abomination and still have access to the Twin Links. That's the main deck. It's 42 cards. There are a couple things I could change. Probably change hand trap ratios. Might cut the challenge. Maybe try Econ out. That card's everyone keeps talking to me about the card and saying it's really good, but I feel like it's also very situational. For the extra deck, we play Cavalry Downward Zeus. I summon this honestly more than I summon Evil Twins. Like, this card's just incredibly unfair, and this deck struggles with getting through back row and everything. And if you can just summon this and sit on a Zeus with 2 board wipes for a turn, you can usually combo off on your next turn, and it's completely fine. 1 Access Code Talker. I don't ever summon this. This probably can get cut for better cards, but if you're not locked into Fiends, it's a good game-ending card. We played 3 of each Twin. Until we get to Link 4, you need to play 3 of each because of how much you're recycling them through the graveyard, and you need to have access to your extra deck, and the more names in your extra deck means you can just do more comboing on your turn. They both summon in the main phase. They have a quick effect that can target the other name in graveyard, whether it's an Evil Twin or a Live Twin, special summon it. And when either of these are special summoned, if you control the other name, whether it's an Evil Twin or a Live Twin version of it, she will target a card on the field, your opponent's, doesn't matter, destroy it. So this can combo with artifacts and stuff very well, and she will draw you a card. She's usually using her effect on your first turn all the time, and just get an extra draw to draw into hand traps. Played 1 IP. This doesn't really come up without the Disciple Devotee package. I don't play them because I just want to play other cards in my extra. But if you do open both your costume cards and a regular twin, you can make this before doing your full plays, which is really good. Which then lets you have access to both twins and a unicorn spin or one of your nightmares to pop something on your opponent's turn, which is fantastic, and it still draws more cards. For nightmares, I only play 3, Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn. This should probably be a Griffin. 100% should be a Griffin. I've never summoned this card in my life. And Griffin's just very, very good in this deck. These are self-explanatory. They're all Fiends, so when you're using your Evil Twins, these lock you into Fiends, so you're able to play all your nightmares and still be able to combo off. And the last card is probably the best card in the extra deck, is Unchained Abomination. If you summon this, you're usually winning the game. It's hands down, because you're just getting so much advantage ahead of your opponent, destroying all their cards. You get a pop in every end phase. You get a pop when you summon your twin back, and you get another pop. It's just very, very good for clearing boards. And if you open a challenge and you can start with this, it's just you're very difficult for your opponent to play through it. You're gonna have on their turn guaranteed double pop and then a third pop in their end phase, and more times than not, that's just more than enough to win a game. For side deck, it's pretty standard. We play 3 Droll just because Drytron, any deck that just searches a lot, this is very good against it. 3 Nibiru. I've thought about putting this in the main deck. I really kind of want to, but I also don't think it's necessary in the main deck until the Link 4 comes out, just because of the chain manipulating you can do with this card. But I still think it's a very good side deck card. If your opponent doesn't really know what they're doing playing Drytron, this can be a blowout. Against a Rogue, it's a blowout a lot of the times. And just all of your monsters arguably are weaker than your opponents because of your strongest attack point twin is 1100, and that's an extra attack monster. And if you can't get to it, you're sitting on 500 attack point monsters that don't really do much. Then this just helps you out their board, and then you can just go off on your turn. I play 3 Shared Rides for going first against Striker, Drytron, anything that searches. It's really good to help you draw into your hand shots, which you're already playing a ton of, so I think this is a very good card. 3 Twin for Tri-Brigade other back row decks. You kind of also lose the hand traps just as you lose the back row, so you need to play the cards to get around back row as well. And probably could cut one of these for a Feather Duster. Honestly, I probably will do that after this. But no, I think Twin's a very good card. And then my last 3 cards, I played 3 different Dimension Ground. This card is very, very good against pretty much any deck right now. Less so against Tri-Brigade, but even still against them, you're losing all their monsters. They're losing their graveyard access, so you can't use the effects of the Tri-Brigade monsters to summon stuff from the extra deck. And against Drytron, they physically cannot play the game. Phantom Knights, they can't play the game. Like, a lot of decks just straight up combo deck wise just lose to this card if you draw going first, and with how much you're just drawing on your first turn. Normally, this is very, very good, and I highly recommend playing this in a side deck for this deck. That is it. 42 card main, 15 side, 15 extra.
Anything you think that like could be changed in the deck at all? At least this format, I know the new support comes out, the deck's probably gonna change a bit, but for right now,
this, I think this is cuttable. This is cute. It's a great interaction if you open everything, but this is cuttable. Desire is another cuttable card, but it's just consistency. It's Pot of Greed. You'd never really banish everything you need, but there are times that it does come up that you do. Or you'll just Desires, banish 10, draw a blank card and another Desires, and it's like, this could have been anything else. I might cut Belarus Meister, I haven't decided yet. This is very good just because of the normal 1700, so I might just cut the bells instead. Not sure what I'd replace them with, but it's a thought, and I would consider playing a 3rd Frost, just because of Desires, and this is the best twin in your deck, so that extra deck, I would maybe cut the Cerberus and maybe the access code for a Griffin, and either a 2nd Phoenix or a Unicorn. I think the Link Disciple and Devotee package is nice, but it's just this deck also loses to Nibiru, and just those. I get you're gonna draw an extra card off the Link Disciple and Devotee combo, but if you get Nibiru, then your turn's just over as it is. So there's no need to waste slots in the extra deck that lose to Nibiru as much as the rest of your extra deck does, in my opinion. But that's about it. I think the deck's been solid. I've only bricked a couple times, and even with bricking, it's just, you play so many starters that just drawing any one of them is enough to turn a game around.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Like a lot of decks currently. But thanks for showing it off. Remember to like and subscribe for more content.